Welcome back. We've got Fortune Nkwanyana of Bluefortune Communications in studio. Before the break, he was chatting with us about his very inspiring journey as an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur.
Thank you.
Three businesses we've gone through so far, you've identified the simplest of challenges, turned them into opportunities.
That's true.
And made businesses out of them. So we stopped at the point where you were at university, the demand was outgrowing anything for your services to type up assignments. What happened thereafter, just briefly?
You know what happened thereafter was, as it grew, I introduced more people to it. You know, so that became it became a serious business.
And job opportunity, I mean, you created jobs.
And I had people, like 3 guys were working with me in doing this now, you know. So what happened from there, I bought my first laptop, which I bought from there. A nice, good laptop. And from there, then I developed the love for programs. So I started working on design programs now. So that's how I moved from typing out stuff to designing stuff now, because now I wanted the next level to this now. So I started designing stuff for people, and you know, I just gave them free things. I said, listen, you are having something, like for example, if you're having an event, come to me, I'll design something for you for free. So they'd say, yeah, please Fortune, do something for us. So I started learning, I became better and better in designing, and eventually, before I knew it, I was getting clients for designs, and you know, the business was starting to grow. Now that's where, at that point, I was told, listen, you need to register a business now. So I decided from there, now I'm going to register my business. So I registered the business that you talked about, which is Bluefortune Communications.
How old is it?
And that time you need to remember, it was registered formally back in 2014. Yeah, and we started working on it before the registration of it. I think from 2007, 8, 9, 10, you know, till today. We are just working, becoming better and better. And of course, we are focused on growth, because for far too long, too many SMMEs are accused for businesses that die at the age of 2 years. You know how most businesses are in South Africa, you know, they barely survive past the 2 years. It's simply because of certain issues that businesses go through, but we're not here about that today. So the business journey was just like that. And from there, you need to remember also, I was doing public speaking. In that whole process of that happening, I was doing public speaking. So I formally introduced myself as a formal speaker, a professional speaker, when I was in tertiary, where I was doing student motivation, just helping out students when they felt, you know, I felt down. And we organized a very big gathering where that time I already had this thing of excellence within me. So I called it the Think Excellence Tour. So we had a whole flock of students coming there just to listen to me. So I did my best on that, and it started growing on me. And from there, I started getting invitations from companies saying, listen, we just need you to come and do staff motivation. From staff motivation, I started to working on companies in, for example, if they're having launch events, if they're having big events, they started inviting me to be MC. They started inviting me to be the keynote speaker. And before you know it, I always say this, great speakers are not trained, but they are born. Because I'm a born speaker. I've never trained anyway, but I'm involved in a lot of competition, and I've won some awards for it. So that's the growth, and that was where Bluefortune Communication was started formally, and we started just by designing stuff, and from designing today we do so much more, even websites.
So much more.
Exactly.
What I love about your story is you did the most you could with what you had at any particular point in the businesses that you started up. And so that's important, and I know we reference this, and I would say, you know, repeat it almost, keep pushing the idea home on the show. It's about doing the most you can with what you have at the time, because that shows resourcefulness, identifying opportunities, and being the best that you can be, because nothing can stop you from being that, right?
That's true.
So also from your story, what I like a lot is that you grew into a brand yourself, apart from building your own brand of the company. Talk to us about that. What has that experience been like, and what can viewers take away? What should they remember?
Okay, just to introduce that one properly as well, Naz, as you know, being a professional speaker has really put a lot of, you know, weight on my shoulders as well, where I get invited to address huge audiences, whether it's corporate or whether it's just privately, and you know, government as well. This is the biggest part about branding. People do business with people they like. So the key now in branding is to brand yourself as somebody who will come across to people as someone they will like. So in the journey of branding myself, it's always been branding myself around one core value, which is the value of excellence. It started back in varsity where I started public speaking. When I was studying public speaking, one mentor of mine told me that, listen, Fortune, if you're going to be successful in this public speaking, you have to identify a corner and you have to brand yourself around it so that when people speak about Fortune, they know they're speaking about branding. Because that's where I am now. I am just a brand consultant. I am just a person you bring in front of a branding team or a marketing team, and I transform their minds and they build something that is great. So now this is the catch about the branding, the importance of itself as well.
Yeah.
In branding, you need to understand who you are, firstly, before you can do anything. Who you are and what's your message to your clients or to the audience which you wish to speak to if you're a speaker. So when you understand who you are, it gives you a target market. Because when you know who you are, automatically you will understand who needs who you are. For example, if you're a business, if you are saying who you are as a business, what does your business represent? Like us, we represent branding, marketing, and also assisting businesses. Now, from knowing what we do and who we are, it makes it easy for us to identify who needs what we are offering. Okay. So now this is the important part. You've understood who you are. The next step now, you identify who you want to sell who you are to. And when you've identified that person, the core value and the core important thing is for you to be able to learn what makes your potential client or your potential audience tick. Now the branding part comes there, where you now have to brand yourself in such a way that the people who are looking at you will feel happy. Your target market that is looking at you will feel, okay, this is a business I'd love to do business with.
They trust that you can deliver a solution.
So, for example, like, I'll make an easy example.
Yeah.
For example, we know a lot of fast drink brands. I won't mention any names, of course. We know these brands because they are well branded. When you go to a supermarket or you go to a SuperRite or a shop, anyway, you identify them by identifying the brand which is represented by them. Imagine if you'd had to walk into a supermarket, going to buy your favorite cool drink, and you get there, all the cola drinks are black and there's no branding on it. What would you do? See, exactly, that's how you'd feel.
Yeah.
What's happening here? Which one is which? So now, branding is all about image. Image, image, image. That is branding. You ask me what is branding? Branding is creating an image that your potential clients will look and feel that they also belong with that image. For example, like one brand that we know everybody likes, for example, Nike. We tend to love Nike. Why do we love Nike? Because in their brand, in their branding, and even in their marketing, you'll never identify an advert or anything of Nike that sells you something. They don't sell anything.
Positioning is about motivating people to just be.
So they build their brand around the emotion and the feeling that they drive home to people. For example, Nike, they say we represent great athletics. We represent great athletes. And automatically, to you, sitting at home, it says to you, if I get myself something from Nike, I'm also a part of the greatest. So that's the whole process of branding. So branding myself was around that. I wanted to build an image that when people see, they saw someone who represented excellence. They saw someone who would be able to explain to them in the simplest and layman's term on how important it is for you to become the best that you can become.
Exactly. And so what I also take away from what you're saying is that great branding is about authenticity and being genuine.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Because if you had to look at me and then look at a whole lot of other speakers, like in South Africa, we've got so many speakers. So now, what makes you different? What makes me different? Why should people come to you and not the next person? So then that branding sets you apart there. It makes it easy for even corporate companies who are looking to do business with you. For example, with me, they know if they are looking for a speaker who's going to be able to deliver a message home on service excellence, I'm your guy. simply because I've branded myself so much on the value of excellence and delivering service excellence and going beyond the extra mile. Like for your mindset in an office environment, for your staff, I said this just a week ago where I was addressing a staff from another company that, everybody in the business has to think like an entrepreneur. Even if you are just someone who's working there, even if you are just a cleaner, because I believe if we all possess one message in an organization, more people will be won. So then I take them through the process of thinking excellence and making the entire organization think like the owner of the company. For example, if someone had to come to me and I'm working at a company, I'd literally sell the company to them the same way the owner would sell it to them.
That's right. Simple
processes through branding and making sure that whatever you represent is what you sell to people. Because too many companies out there, they say they are branded. Just having a logo and an image of what you represent is not enough. It's not enough. Branding goes to the level where the emotions people feel when they are doing business with you. How do they feel? As I said this before, people do business with people they love and they like. So if I'm going to buy at Naz's shop, simply because I like doing business with Naz, and when I do business with Naz, there's something that she offers me that nobody else in the industry or in her market that can offer me. So that's part of branding as well. Simple things, and we try to make them complicated. For example, for someone who's a viewer at home who is owning a tuck shop, they ask themselves, this guy is talking about big companies, what about me? I'm the small guy in the streets. Let me tell you something, we started there. And the smallest of things, I know a guy where I used to stay as an old man. Everybody loves to go to him simply because he makes people feel good. You go to him angry, you come out there happy. That's his branding. He's branded himself with that. And now our process, we come in and we just put in the touch-ups. So branding is very important.
Fortune, what an interesting conversation. I mean, you clearly have such a passion and nurturing spirit for what you do. And I suppose that's the Think Excellence philosophy by which you live by. A last brief parting word for our viewers.
Okay, I said this, but I'm going to say it again. Excellence is the ultimate attitude for success. When you wake up every morning, you have to wake up already tuned your mind with excellence. I say this to my brother every time. You have to think excellence. You have to breathe excellence. You have to speak excellence and let it show in the way you look. Hence, I am a big believer that people address you according to the way you dress. So once you are not dressed the part, people will never address you the part. You cannot be expecting people to treat you like a CEO while you are not dressed like a CEO. For example, if you had to go to a doctor and you get to a doctor and he's dressed like a hobo, would you even allow the doctor to touch you? Obviously not. So people address you according to the way you dress. So dress the way you want to be addressed. So that's very important, and for people need to understand that everything that we do, whether it's in business, outside of business, do it with excellence. Give it your best, give it your all. And like it or not, our company has grown because of that same philosophy. If you come to us, we simply give you nothing but excellence in everything that we do. So live your life as well with excellence, and excellent results will come as well. So think excellence.
Fortune, we wish you all of the very best for your future endeavors and for the opening of your new offices across the country. And we hope to see you back on BizToday sometime in the future.
I will make sure that I do come again. I love the sets, everything is good, the team is amazing. Our host is just marvelous. She's good, she's the best. I've seen them all, but she's the best.
Thank you, Fortune. I did not pay him to say that, but I really admire and respect the work he does. Bluefortune Communications, the details are up on the screen. You can go on their social channels as well as their website, get more information and understand the concept of branding with yourself and your company. That's it for this week. Until next week, goodbye.